Tonight,
certainly this decision was not taken lightly.
Mayor Gerald Aalbers sheds some light on the dismissal of City Manager Glenn Carroll, plus federal progressive conservative candidates were selling their platforms to party members at a forum in Lloydminster, and
it's pretty humbling. It's kind of cool.
Lakeland College recognized as one of the top 70 employers in Alberta.
This is Newcap News with Nicole Stilger.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. A day after the termination of Lloydminster City Manager, Mayor Aalbers spoke to the media. While the mayor didn't comment on personnel matters, he did shed some light on how the decision was made to fire Glenn Carroll.
Certainly this decision was not taken lightly. The City Council met for several hours the other night and discussed opportunities and options that we had. So it was something that we did not do just at a moment's notice, and it was not strictly on the report, but it wasn't based not on the report. A combination of things were discussed and considered from our perspective.
The firing comes after an extensive governance audit conducted by consultant George Cuff. Cuff was tasked with overseeing how the city operates, with providing council with recommendations.
I think that certainly was a lot of discussion over the last months, and I hope that the recommendations will shed some light to give the City Council some direction that you have today as we move forward.
The results of the audit are to be released to the public Thursday, with recommendations up for debate in council on Monday. While with just under 2 months left in the federal Conservative leadership race, candidates are traveling the country trying to sell their platforms to party members. The campaign made a stop in Lloydminster Thursday night with 5 leadership hopefuls. Adam McVicker has more on the grassroots appeal.
The road to replace Stephen Harper passed through the border city Thursday night. 5 candidates vying for the top job took questions from members of the Lakeland and Battleford Lloydminster constituency associations.
So these are the kind of folks that are part of our party. They're a huge part of making sure our party is strong, and I'm delighted to be here to answer their questions.
With Lloydminster being more of a rural riding, candidates are now focused on appealing to the party's grassroots members.
A government's role is very simple. It's to protect freedom, it's to protect property, and it's to protect life. It's about those simple things. Conservatives understand not everything is about government.
The biggest knock on the Tory race has been its size. 14 candidates in all, little room to differentiate.
So we're all talking to as many voters as we can, but we have to have a message. It's kind of like I said tonight, we can't be everything to everybody. We then just lose our flavor.
Especially against businessman Kevin O'Leary, who claims to have broken records for donations and member registrations.
The membership numbers that people are throwing around, they're completely unverifiable. So I'm not going to throw a number at you that gets compared to other camps who have released numbers that are impossible to check.
And in a race with a preferential ballot, candidates are vying for 2nd and 3rd place finishes among members.
People haven't made up their mind finally yet. They have a list of people they want towards the top of the ballot, but they're going to make, the coming weeks are going to make the real difference.
Party members will vote for a new leader on May 27th. Adam McVicker, Newcap News.
For the first time, Lakeland College is being recognized as one of Alberta's top 70 employers. They're one of 5 post-secondary institutions to receive this award.
It gives you the position to remind yourself of how awesome you are.
Lakeland College was one of only 6 employers not based in Edmonton or Calgary to win the award.
It's pretty humbling. It's kind of cool. It's the whole college is taking it with a lot of pride. So it's nice to be a big employer here, but a small employer in Alberta, but still get recognized as one of the top 70.
Lakeland was chosen specifically for its employee development, its access to amenities, and its support to new mothers. But they're always looking to improve and hope to focus now on recognizing employees.
They're here to serve the students, and sometimes they're not very good at taking the recognition themselves, and we're here to need to pat them on the back and say they're doing a great job too.
The goal for next year is not only to make up the top 70 in Alberta again, but to also make Canada's top 100 employers. More than 60 grade 1 students at Winston Churchill School celebrated Nutrition Month today through a salad luncheon. The contents of this particular luncheon was entirely produced by the students. Using tower gardens found in each grade 1 classroom, the students grew the salad leaves in preparation of the lunch date with many of their parents, making it a culinary and agricultural lesson.
They started them right from seedlings, and they've watched them grow over the last 4 weeks, so right from start to end product of eating their produce.
They could learn about the plants, grow the lettuce themselves. That's what they've started with. And then with the help of the co-op, have enough food to be able to have them invite their parents to come in and to be able to provide that.
Oliver says one of their goals was to have kids try previously things that they hadn't.
They would have more of an appreciation for nutritious food that comes from the ground or is grown by them. And I think today proved that a little bit to us, so that was a great bonus.
The growth of plants is a staple of the school's grade 1 curriculum. The Lloydminster SPCA is revamping their membership program to encourage community support. Recently, the nonprofit has been struggling with only 10 paying members last year. A $10 fee for the year allows members to purchase advance tickets to select SPCA events, vote in the annual general meeting, and more.
As we start to develop more courses, like we just finished a first aid course, so if we do that anytime upcoming, or any other seminar sessions that we do, members will be informed ahead of time, and they'll also receive a discount.
Panchon says this type of community support is necessary for the shelter to remain successful.
Because I think that there's been that gap where a lot of people don't realize that memberships still exist, and memberships are very important to the strength of a not-for-profit organization.
He adds the shelter is looking to allow pets to become members in the future. And the Lloydminster Lions Club joined the rest of the world in celebrating 100 years of Lions Club International last night. The evening was highlighted by a celebration of multicultural cuisine and entertainment, including Chinese drum dancing and a Filipino flower dance. Now, all proceeds raised from the ticket sales and donations go towards the purchase of 4 vandal-proof benches for city parks.
These benches are pretty expensive, but we hope to raise some money and have these in commemoration of Canada's 150th birthday.
Juba says the reception from the public, as nearly 200 people were in attendance, was wonderful.
The messages from our MLAs and the mayor praising us to almost embarrassment, it makes us feel pretty good that we are part of this community and that, in fact, we are recognized for the work we do.
The Lloydminster Lions Club was chartered in 1967. Well, a performance of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is planned for Wainwright this weekend, and Bowl for Kids' Sake is set to go in just over a week. Heather Clagus has details on how to get involved in this week's edition of What's Happening.
This weekend is opening weekend for Kitscoty Community Dinner Theatre. The play this year, Take Your Medicine, and you can check it out tomorrow night or next weekend as well. A great play with some local talent plus delicious food. If you want to get tickets for next weekend's performance, you can stop by Mason Agencies in Kitscoty. A fire truck is pretty cool, but what about a magical car? Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. You've got a chance to see a production of this coming up tomorrow afternoon at the Wainwright Communiplex. Things get underway at 2 o'clock, and it's a presentation of Theatre 75 Youth Drama Group. The movie has been #1 since it opened at the box office, and now you can sing along to all your favorite songs from Beauty and the Beast. We've got a copy of the soundtrack for you, and it's really easy for you to win. All you have to do is email your name and daytime phone number to tvcontests@newcap.ca. We want to say thanks to John at Universal Music Canada for setting us up with the music. And you can feel like a kid again next Friday night and help out the kids. It's the annual Bowl for Kids at Jack Kemp School. You can still register with Big Brothers Big Sisters here in Lloydminster. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, I hope you have a great one. I'm Heather Clagus, and that's what's happening.
With the more and more health risks in the world today, keeping active and staying healthy has become more important than ever. Fortunately, Lloydminster is rife with clubs and activities designed to keep our body functioning the way it should. And for one Kitscoty woman, the journey to a healthy mind and body has taken her to a very unexpected place, a ring. Lance Phillips with more.
For a year, Renee Warkowski had been training in kickboxing. Not for competition, but rather for a way to stay in shape. Something that started out as a body challenge has grown into much more, and it began when her son Dallin suggested she join the Fight Farm, an MMA fitness gym owned by Garrett Tepper, a man who himself has been involved in the sport for over 20 years. Here's the catch. Werkowski's 44 years old, which makes her reaction to her son's suggestion not the least bit surprising.
Absolutely not. I am not a fighter. I am not this or whatever. So then I was just like, no way. And it took me about 6 months. The name scared me, I'll be honest with you. It was like, there's going to be these big guys fighting and everything.
Renee quickly realized there's far more to the Fight Farm than simply what the name implies. But there's more than 2 female Werkowskis training at the farm, and the experience has given both a new perspective.
It's been empowering. It's been absolutely amazing, the camaraderie of all the ages that we have here and everything, and the help that we get.
When I started, I was like just this like shy teenage girl, and then once I started, I became more confident. I gained so much more respect for the sport, and I definitely felt like I was very empowered.
Since her first time walking through the Fight Farm door, Renee has evolved into a person full of confidence, but more importantly, a role model and mentor for other young women and girls at the club.
That's the role I want to be. I want to actually be able to teach these young girls that you can do anything that you put your mind to. And like I said, it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your weight. That's a huge thing. It really doesn't matter. It's just as long as you try and you believe in yourself, you can do it.
You know, I use the term mother hen because she's like a protector. She cares about these people's lives. She wants to hear, you know, what's happening, you know, with their school, with their relationships. You know, of course, training is one thing, right? But it's the whole combination of everything.
Her age doesn't matter to her, and that's one thing out of many that I love about her. But it's just, yeah, she just constantly stays positive and says, okay, if you can't do it, keep working. You can do it. You will get to it eventually, right?
And getting to it hasn't been easy for the mother of 2. However, what you'll hear next is what helped her, and it's relevant not only for women, but for anyone the situation applies to.
We as women, we underestimate ourselves a lot. Sometimes, you know, we go through phases. We raise our kids when they're little. We run around with our kids. We do everything that our kids want to do. And we kind of get lost in the shuffle as we get older. I think when I turned 40, I just decided, you know what, I'm going to finally do something for myself. And it happened to be this. It's just so important to be able to do these things for yourself and just for you.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.